In 1925, one of our country's greatest heroes was born in Kingston, Texas, a small rural town in the northeastern part of the Lone Star State. The seventh of 12 children, Audie Murphy was born in the humblest of circumstances. The Murphys were sharecroppers of Irish descent. Like most of America at the time, they were in dire straits. Raising children in the Great Depression meant a lot of hard work just to get by.
He was born in a cabin that they were so poor when they were kids that they moved around a lot. A lot of rent houses. They were sharecroppers when he was a kid. That means basically you're working somebody else's land and you get paid once a year.
Murphy's father left the family when he was just 15 years old, and his mother passed away a year later. Needless to say, he had to grow up fast, and from an early age, he learned how to handle a gun as much out of necessity as anything else.
After school was out, he would go out, take a shotgun, and go hunt. And he would help get food for dinner. And so that was common for him and his older brothers as well.
Developing his marksmanship in the woods of Northeast Texas led to dreams of joining the Marines. But his diminutive frame was not welcomed. He was rejected on the basis of his size and strength. At just 5'6", he managed to convince the Army to take him and eventually made his way to the front lines.
He kind of assumed that he would be joining the military. He kind of assumed that eventually he'd be fighting. Then when the Japanese attack Pearl Harbor, there's this sudden wave of euphoria that we're in the fight. To participate in what to many of these young men seemed like a great adventure.
As a member of the 3rd Infantry Division, it did not take long for Murphy to find himself in serious combat. He received the Medal of Honor for valor that he demonstrated at the age of 19 for single-handedly holding off a company of German soldiers for an hour at the Colmar Pocket in France in January of 1945.
As his men pull back and Audie Murphy mounts that tank destroyer and they watch him, they recognize he's saving their lives, but they also watch him with a kind of awe and amazement. He broke up that attack, and he also defeated the enemy single-handedly. There's no doubt this was a phenomenal feat of bravery.
By the end of World War II, he had received every military combat award for valor that's available from the U.S. Army.
He has, by 44, he sees a very dark world ahead of him, and it's become kind of a cynicism about society. When he's given these medals, he feels he has to accept them. But not only does he not feel any thrill at receiving these medals, but he feels kind of a disgust.
He returned home from Europe a hero and was greeted with parades and elaborate banquets. Life magazine honored the brave baby-faced soldier by putting him on the cover of its July 16, 1945 issue. That photograph inspired actor James Cagney to call Murphy and invite him to Hollywood to begin an acting career as the next chapter of his life, which led to a 21-year career.
It's so ironic then that when Jimmy Cagney calls him out to Hollywood and pulls him into the acting milieu, I mean, he's not quite sure how to handle it. He doesn't have certainly the natural actor's abilities. He's not trained as an actor, but eventually he's able to slip into it.
On May 28, 1971, his remarkable life came to a tragic and sudden end.
A light plane in the hills of Virginia.
That plane crash brought a premature end to the life of one of America's greatest heroes. But his legacy of courage and strength lives on. As a nation, we are forever grateful.